which I think is sometimes counterintuitive for all businesses. Like we think, okay, I got to have everything. I got to blast you when you land on my website. I got to blast you with everything that we do, how amazing we are, all the products we have, all the ways you can donate, all the ways you can help us. But that's overwhelming, right? Like we can't take in all that information. So we really try to help people pare down and make sure that what they're putting out there is helping them achieve their goals.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership.
Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I'm super excited to have you here today because I have my most amazing guest, Sami. Sami, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. So give us a quick introduction, who you are and your business.
Yeah, so my name is Sami. I am a digital marketing strategist. So we typically support nonprofits that are either kind of just beginning or just kind of getting out of their baby phase, into hiring staff and getting their board all in line and really making and increasing that impact that they can have on their community. So we help them through their website design and development, content creation, and email marketing so they can get more donors and retain the ones that they have.
Love it. So how did you get into nonprofit as a thing and marketing?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, I just grew up in a household where philanthropy and nonprofit was just part of our everyday life. Kind of how I grew up in a small community. So just giving back to our community and really seeing the impact that can make, that's just always been something that's kind of been ingrained in me. And so when I graduated college, I was like, well, I don't know what to do. So I just started a nonprofit with something that I loved, which was the visual and performing arts. So created a day camp in the summer for middle school students to experience the arts in ways that they couldn't in a small community. So I didn't go to school for marketing, but as you start to build your own business, you kind of figure out what you don't
realize
know.
That you have to have marketing.
Yeah. Right. And I think I always had a mind for it. And so, as I've kind of grown throughout my career, I've taken on more and more marketing responsibilities and just fell in love with it. And just really find that it's an area that nonprofits struggle with. And I think entrepreneurs struggle with. Like we go into it knowing what we know and having a passion for what we do. And some of the other stuff just becomes crazy overwhelming.
Yes, it does. So when it comes to nonprofits, what do you find that is there a difference between nonprofits and for-profit marketing in general, or so they're probably making the same mistakes that everybody else is making?
Yeah, I think it's the mindset. Like we think because we have a different tax status that our struggle is different from any other entrepreneur, but really it's the same. Like we're in the business to acquire customers, donors. They're the same. We're in the business to retain those customers or donors. And I think especially as we look at millennials and as we look at the upcoming Gen Z audience, like what they want from nonprofits is the exact same that they want from their for-profit organizations, that experience, that community, that feeling like they're a part of things. So I think even more than ever, that gap is of the difference between how we treat and acquire customers is different, is the same, exactly the same. It's not any different.
Nice. So when it comes to kind of successful marketing, I know there's very much the formula out there right now, thanks to a few people. Said, hey, do the formula and you'll get rich.
Yep.
Is that, it seems to me that that's very transactional, whereas to me the Gen X and kind of, hey, join our community and have a purpose and a profit is totally different. Talk to me about that in your opinion.
Yeah, I think we're always looking for that quick win. But what I find, especially if you're building a business, not just a hobby, when you get those quick wins, you typically lose them just as fast as you got them, whether that be an increase in website traffic, whether that be a viral product that all of a sudden goes bonkers and but then nobody else buys anything else from you, like whatever that is. So I'm a huge fan of, if this is something you are doing as your job, as a business that you want to build, not just a hobby, then let's build those foundations. Let's put the time and the effort, and let's really just, the core things of marketing haven't changed, right? It's creating consistent content, setting yourself up as an expert in whatever it is that you do, building trust with your customers, and making sure that they feel like they're they're with you. Like you care about them no matter if they buy one product or they buy 100 products. They donate $1 or they donate $100,000, right? Like everybody has value. You never know what conversation you're going to have with somebody that's going to turn into like this crazy thing that just helps like blow up your company, right? Like we've all had those experiences. So I'm a huge fan of just building the foundations, building for long term, having conversation, being authentic. And you can layer in some quick win things here and there, some trends, but consistency is what keeps businesses going long term.
Well, and I would think that that is what creates the loyalty, because the bane of most nonprofits to me is getting the donors back again.
Yep.
And and I think with that transactional business, you don't create that loyalty. Whereas if you want a brand, regardless, where it has the loyalty, you want that ongoing relationship, you want that ongoing consistency. And um, I think the two plans are completely different. So talk to me about what it's like to work with you when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, Sammy, I need your help." What does that all look like?
Yeah, so we work with clients in a lot of different ways, as most consultants do. But really, it starts with us on, are you clear with where you're going and what your goals are? Because the last thing we want to do is for somebody to enter into a work relationship with us and not have that they're not ready for us. Because when we're helping you build out your website and really create the copy and the customer experience and user experience for how they land there, and then what that looks like afterward, if you're not rock solid in, well, this is where we're going, this is what our goals are, then you're going to pay us for a product that's not going to deliver what you need, right? 3 months from now, you're going to be coming back to me saying, oh, well, we changed this and now we want to do this. And so we definitely start with enter conversations with potential clients on making sure they know what their plans are and where they're going, because that's just going to make it more successful for everybody.
Nice. And what are some of the elements that you're looking for when you're planning out the sites, the landing pages, things like that?
Yeah, so I love I think reverse engineering things is my favorite. So let's take a look at what it is that we want to create. So are we looking to add 100 new donors to our list? Are we wanting to just support this new product? Do we need to get more people do we need to be able to serve more people? Like, what is that end goal? And then we kind of reverse engineer everything to make sure that once somebody then lands on the page, the experience is tailored to what it is we're trying to do, which I think is sometimes counterintuitive for all businesses. Like we think, okay, I got to have everything. I got to blast you when you land on my website. I got to blast you with everything that we do, how amazing we are, all the products we have, all the ways you can donate, all the ways you can help us. But that's overwhelming, right? Like we can't take in all that information. So we really try to help people pare down and make sure that what they're putting out there is helping them achieve their goals, as opposed to just kind of a shotgun approach.
And do you find that in the nonprofit sector that they tend to overcomplicate things as well?
I find that in all sectors, all because because we do work with companies that are not nonprofits. And we get in our own heads. Like we think what we do is like the most amazing thing. And it is amazing. You are amazing. You're doing amazing things. But there are 100 other amazing people that are doing the same thing you're doing. So if we don't get hyper-focused and get out of our own way and start to think about us customer-centric as opposed to owner-centric, that's when we get into big trouble with our market.
Absolutely, it is. So when you're working with somebody, how do you help them to differentiate, or how do you help them to stand out? And like, are they just making stuff up? Is it because they're like finding their niche market? What's going on with them?
Yeah, I like to ask why a lot. So when they say, well, we do this, well, why do you do that? Well, because of this. Well, why do you do that? Well, because of this, right? So we try to distill it down on their side to the smallest factor, and then encourage them to have conversations with their existing customers and donors to validate that. We want to make sure that that's true, that what we think we do, the impact we make, is what people also think it is, right? Because you've probably worked with business owners where they're like, well, we do this amazing thing. And then you talk to all their customers and they're like, oh, we thought you did this. Yeah. Or like, this is the coolest thing that we think you do, right? So we definitely encourage people to talk to their existing customers, their existing base, to validate, and then we kind of go from there. So it's kind of a combination of we started this business because we're passionate about something and we know we can make a difference. So now let's make sure that the market out there is willing to accept that difference, and then work on our stories and our copy from there.
Well, and I know we did a lot of that research, and they all came back with, you guys just get shit done. And I'm like, I don't know if that translates really well.
Well, I know, but that's a great example, because sometimes we also like get in our own heads about the way we talk about what we do. But if we talk about it from the perspective, like the words that are coming back at us are what is resonating for them. So, I mean, if it works, it works. Like, don't fight it.
Exactly. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. So give us an example of one of your Cinderella stories of one of your clients.
Oh, geez. I feel like for me, there's a client we're working with right now. This is gonna probably sound terrible. I typically don't like to work with founder-led organizations because the founders are so emotionally attached to the cause in the best way possible. And so we're working with a founder-led organization right now, and they're like my unicorn. The thing for me is when we have conversations and we talk about these things and they're like, oh, yes, like they have all the bones in place. They're doing all the amazing things, but that's just like that next level of like, we're trying to go to that next step, and the openness. Like, to me, the Cinderella stories are the organizations that are open to doing new things, trying new things, and seeing what can happen. We're about to launch a big campaign for them. It's year end. So as we're recording this, so I hope that I can message you and tell you that we exceeded their goals, because I'm super excited just about the way that they are like embracing and taking it in and saying like, we understand where this is leading. Because I think that's a really hard thing for people to do.
Yes, absolutely. And justifiably so, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they put their everything into the business and help and making it succeed. Like it's their it's their hopes or dreams, it's their family, it's their house, it's the shop. Like everything is on the line to make this work. So it's totally understandable why we get so emotionally involved in it. And that is what makes it a little difficult to be able to step back and go, hey, somebody else might actually know how to market and serve and support this. So yeah, we're excited to hear how that all goes. So let me ask you, what is your favorite part of your business? What do you love doing?
I'm a problem solver at heart. So I love when my clients come to me and they have this like big thing and they're like, oh my gosh, like I mean, I'm sure you get this all the time as you're trying to help people streamline their processes and their systems and what they're doing. They come to you with this like big problem that they think is huge. And you're like, okay, yeah, we can do this, that, and the other. That's easy, fixed. And they're just like, wait, what? Because I love that, because it just frees up so much more. Then they're like, oh, I have been wasting so much time and energy on this thing. And now I can go back to doing what I'm best at, because like this thing is already fixed. So I love those aha moments. And I love just strategizing and helping organizations problem solve through whatever it is they're going through.
Awesome. So what are some of the stumbling blocks that somebody might be having right now, thinking, oh my God, Sami, I need you so badly?
Well, we're coming up on Giving Tuesday. We're coming up on Black Friday. We're coming up on Cyber Monday. We're coming up on all the holiday stuff. You may think it's a little bit too late to kind of get your ducks in a row, but I think what we're working a lot with clients on is cutting through the noise and simplifying your process so that your website can function, so people can make those quick decisions. So that is, one for sure. But I think it's really just making sure that all of your pieces to the puzzle are in line. So we talk a lot about sales funnels, but it's really like, how is your website supporting the emails that you're sending out? How is it supporting the one-on-one conversations you're having? How is it supporting the newspaper ads that you have, the referrals that are coming in? Is everything connected and telling the same story, the same message, and trying to go to the same goal? That's really the pain point that I think people have. They're pushing everything out, but nothing is all really talking the same thing.
I can't tell you how often I see that, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Why now?
When was the last time you changed the header on your website to make sure, like I see nonprofits highlighting events that happened in March. I'm like, what? Oh, how is that serving you? That is not serving you.
No. Awesome. So I know listeners are going to want more from you. How did they start their journey with you?
Yeah, so the best thing, I'm on LinkedIn at Sami-Bedell-Mulhern, Sami. Otherwise, you can go to thefirstclick.net, check out our free resources, or check out the Digital Marketing Therapy podcast, which Michelle was a guest on recently.
Hey. Awesome. And yes, we love promoting and helping you too. I think people need to understand that even though we do very similar things, I totally get that, we're not going to be for everybody, and that you guys do some really awesome, cool stuff. So peeps, the links are all going to be in the show notes, of course, and you can, of course, go to awarenessstrategies.com/blog and search for Sami, Sami, as she said, and all of her stuff will come up. Absolutely. So, Sami, I have to ask you, at what point in life did you know that you were special, kind of crazy enough to become an entrepreneur?
Oh, geez. Well, I started my business in 2000. I think I've always been a little bit of an entrepreneur, just like nonprofit has been in our world. Entrepreneurialism has been in our world. But honestly, I didn't have the guts until I left a corporate job in 2017 because it just wasn't the right fit. And I had no other choice. And it was like, let's just figure this out. We're just going to go for it and see what happens. And I think I was 30. I don't know. I can't do math. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, 2017. And I think I just did it and realized I can do this. And now I can't imagine not working for myself and running my own.
Right? That's awesome. I love it. So, Sami, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. Any last words for our peeps?
No, I just want to say, thank you for saying what you said about yeah, we do some similar things, but everybody has their own little spin on it. And I think that that's a great reminder, because I'm like you, I come from an abundance mindset. I do what I do best. And I just love the community. I feel like there's so much support and love for all of us. There's plenty of space for all of us to do our things and build our dream business and find those customers. We just have to come at it with that abundance mindset. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think that's fantastic.
My dog's getting super excited about this. Thanks again, Sami.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Peeps, this is Michelle Middleck. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show, get your dog to be quiet, to the podcast, and we will see you on the next show.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well, if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.